tile. Tile installers in Europe started using it because I actually know the installer who introduced it to the tile industry in 2020, even 2019, because he was looking for a Dremel and he couldn't find it, and he saw Proxxon, which looked similar to Dremel, and Proxxon did not have any blades for tile, to cut tile, so he purchased Proxxon, and he adopted one of the Chinese tiny blades made for Dremel. He adopted it for Proxxon. And he was the first guy who actually started making the integrated toilet flush buttons back in 2020. And then other guys just saw the idea and they started using it. The guy's his name is Victor. Well, since then, many guys in Europe started using Proxxon, and the main difference of this particular tool from many other brands is that this tool, Proxxon LWBA, that's the right model. And then there is another one that is not available for our US outlets. It's for 230 outlets, and you cannot use a corded version. So the corded version LWBE can still be used with a transformer, but it's just not as convenient as this one. So this particular tool has 16,000 RPM, which is the right speed for this particular tool. So anything less than 16,000 RPM for this angle neck grinder will not be sufficient. And many guys purchased a different Proxxon tool that is also an angle neck grinder, but it has RPM at only 13 or 14,000, which is not sufficient. Which is why it creates more vibration, more chipping, and eventually many guys burned it because they would just press it, use it without water, and then they would blame the tool, of course, because it's all manufacturer's fault.
So
well, yeah, they just never did the research. So we use most professional installers. When you see them use Proxxon, they use this model LWBE, 16,000 RPM. You need to use full speed. You have to use your safety glasses. Remember this, not only this, but any blade that is made with this technology may blow apart because it's a solid piece. So you need to use a guard, and then the blade needs to be continuously cooled down with water, either with a spray bottle, which is the simplest way. Yeah, but right now there are different shrouds with water cooling feature. This one is actually made by, is it made by Distar? Mm-hmm. Okay, because I think they have another one that you gave me that also has this splash protection.
Yeah. They're continually changing the model and making it better.
This was probably the first version.
Yeah.
But all we need is just a continuous water flow. Now, when you start cutting with this tool with this particular blade will cut through any material, like through butter. But you have to let the tool do the work. You don't press it. You don't go all the way through. You follow the same principle of step cutting. First, shallow cut. And then depending on the thickness of the material, you go second time, and if needed, third time. Because the purpose of this tool is to make this chip-free cut through the material. This tool is made for delicate cuts only. It's not your daily grinder. You can still cut a long piece. Sometimes, like I demonstrated how to cut a 10-foot long little sliver, but it was only for demonstration purposes. So you can still, it has enough power as long as you don't press it. And if you start feeling that the tool is kind of getting hot, that's the time, that's the indicator. You need to stop and you need to let it cool. So it's always good if you have two of these. If you are planning on working with them, all day doing delicate cutouts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 of them is actually what most guys use in Europe. They have 2 of these tools and they just change them and charge the batteries. So I'll start, and yeah, this should be still enough material to make those cuts. Let me use a dressing stone just quickly, yeah, to sharpen it. Check. For some reason, it doesn't sound too fast to me. Let me compare. Because, well, it could be just a, let's see.
Battery.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Big difference.
Let's check LW, because I feel it. But for some reason, it's slower.
Battery could be dead.
I think I charged it. Let's see.
That was, maybe switch the batteries. That was the one that we brought.
Oh, that, okay, that was not the one that I charged? No, I charged it.
That was when we brought in though.
He just
I
gave
charged
it.
yours.